Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural show of Child of the Universe, The Art of George Kilpatrick Sr. George Kilpatrick, I would call him a Renaissance man, a sculptor, a painter, a writer, a poet, you name it. He was someone who believed that whatever the mind could conceive and believe, it could achieve. Come on, Sherry, this is your dad, too. And it's kind of interesting because, you know, my mom and my mother and father were divorced, so it's kind of odd that we had, I don't know if it's odd, but to his credit and to my mom's credit, they thought it was very important that we have a relationship with our dad. So my mother wanted to share with this group today that she thought that he was someone who really loved his family and really put everything he had into loving his children and to loving his family. And he really believed that family was the most important. But he was also an activist. I recall on many, my sister laughing. You got a story about that?
Well, no, but I just know
you don't have a story.
One of the things that my father taught us is, in terms of speaking out for injustices that particularly affected the African American community, he taught us the power of the pen. And if you didn't like something, you wrote about it. There was a show one time that they were about to take off the air, ABC Like It Is. He made sure he called all of us and let us know that we needed to write the producers a letter. And to make a long story short, the show survived at that time.
Yeah.
Which story were you going to tell?
No, well, I was just going to say that oftentimes he would see something in the news and he would be talking about it, and then the end of the sentence would be, "And now here's my letter," and he would, and he would read his letter, and that's what he taught us, that we needed to speak up, and we should always we should not allow injustice to be present in any situation. I wanted to share a poem with you, and it's in this book. I want to thank, I was in the middle of thanking people. Chris Battaglia, curator here at the gallery, Dr. Kelly Willits for the Community Folk Arts Center, and they're allowing me to put this together. And I'm going to share with you his view of art, and he was called The Artist. The Artist. The eye of an artist is like a sponge, grabbing fast at the unique, absorbing its beauty, squeezing out of creative pores its own interpretations of a thing. The eye of the artist is like a mirror, reflecting images, catching silhouettes in time, space, and motion, a rainbow's hue in color split diffusion. The eye of an artist is a mystical gaze, the hand tool of a magician, a secret code to the netherworld, or a flaming inspiration from the infinite one. And that's sort of a theme, as you can see here, the infinite one. This idea of, he believed, he was metaphysical, could you tell? And he believed that we would rise to the level of our consciousness, our thoughts, our prayers, we've heard that, so that whatever you would think about, whatever you put your thoughts into, that's the level of energy that you would attract. And so a lot of what you see here, this work, is reflective of this sort of idea that you must always seek to represent your highest possible self everywhere you go and in everything that you do. And that combined with activism, because that was the other piece of his legacy that he taught us. And these sculpture figures that you see are all part of a screenplay, a screenplay series, a 5-part series called Far Galaxies. And all of these characters are characters that he created to reflect that. And with that, Vanessa Johnson is going to come.
Present this to George and his sister, and his sister will get her own. I have a second one, but you know, the agendas of artists is that always more than we can possibly accomplish all of the time. And so this is a piece, and I picked, it was funny because I picked the same poem, The Artist, to put onto this, your dad's words. And I wanted to represent the generations and the secret messages that generations have for us, and the color the bright color of your dad, that rainbow. And this little piece is from a dress I wore in Africa on my first trip, and I use it in very special pieces to try to bring a little of that energy back. And then the river that kind of represents that flowing of generations. So this is for you, my big brother. Thank you. Thank you for letting me tell. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, this is beautiful. Well, this is great. Now we have, wow, I'm just moved by all of this. George III, George Kilpatrick III, namesake of George, is now going to give us a song.
Yeah, I'm George Kilpatrick III. I'm a freshman jazz studies major at Howard University, and I'll be singing Yesterday by the Beatles. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. Maybe I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Vanessa.